Hey, hello everybody. First of all, let me say this. I got a comment on the Amish friendship bread. And the lady said, man, look at how dirty that place is. Well, what happened was I had just finished making bread. And there was flour on the board. So, you know, I didn't really clean it off all the way. I just wanted to get the Amish bread started and go from there. I mean, hey man, this stuff takes 10 days. Let's get it going. Commenting how dirty the place was. But let me tell you something. If you're watching the people on YouTube, you know, the ones that have the professional shows and, you know, the ones that make, you know, 10,000 a month, if you're watching those guys, you know, I hope you remember that that's all in the studio. You know, you see those kitchens that they work out of? It's like marble and granite, and there's not a speck of dust anywhere, and everything is just perfect. They got all the matching bowls and blah, blah, blah. You know, that's all fake, man. You show me one person who cooks and show me their kitchen like that, and I'll kiss. But anything. Oops, wait, I can't say that. But anyway, it's just all fake. All right, I had a request from one of my favorite subbers, and she asked me to do sirloin tips. Sirloin tips and noodles. Well, this is not it, by the way. This isn't the sirloin tips and noodles. No, I was going to have some burgers tonight on the grill, but then I thought, wait a minute. Why don't I fancy them up a little bit? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the poor man's stroganoff. Poor man's sirloin stroganoff. All right. That poor man. Okay, anyway, here's what I'm doing right now on the stove. I'm putting some olive oil in the pan so I can saute the mushrooms. There's one thing about mushrooms is you have to caramelize them. If you want a good mushroom taste, like if you're making mushroom soup or mushroom gravy, if you want a real strong mushroom flavor, you have to caramelize them. There's no way you're going to get the flavor out of them if you don't caramelize them. All right, so here I'm going to get this nice and hot, and I'm going to throw the mushrooms in now. Okay. Now also here I just chopped these up. This is one little pack of mushrooms. Believe me, I didn't buy them pre-sliced. Pre-sliced, there's a lot of flavor gone from them. It only takes you a minute to slice them. Okay, now, what was I saying? Oh, over here is going to be the gravy. All this is water and beef stock. That's all. Here, it's water and this stuff, beef broth. Okay, it's like a bouillon. I like these bouillons like this, the ones that are paste. They're much better. Okay. Alright, so we're going to caramelize these real nice. Going to get them nice and brown. This is really Heartbreak Hotel. I just went to the store. I rode my bike. And I bought some stuff. And I forgot eggs. So I have no eggs for this. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to improvise a little bit. I have no choice. I'm going to use a little bit of evaporated milk. How much? I don't know. Let's see. What is that? Maybe 2 ounces? 2 ounces of, maybe 2.5 ounces. Alright. Now wait, I got to mix it up. Oh, by the way, I made some bread today. I'll tell you what, man, it really doesn't hurt to know what you're doing. Here's some cinnamon walnut bread that I made. Fresh out of the oven. And then I also made a loaf of regular white bread. Fresh out of the oven. Still warm. Hello. Knives are flying everywhere. Now we're just gonna, whoops, I have to add some salt. And don't mind my hands, believe me. They've been washed 50 times already, just in the last 2 hours. You know, when I grew up in the kitchen, we used our hands. We didn't use gloves. And I don't think I ever killed anybody. Mushrooms are getting there. Okay, now we're going to add some garlic. We're going to add some Worcester. And that's it. Oh, breadcrumbs, but not yet. I want to mix it up first. Alright, so there you got evaporated milk, onion chopped real small. Gotta chop the onion small, otherwise the meat will crack and break apart. You know, if you ever made a meatloaf that was all falling apart, that's why. Your vegetables were too big. Alright. This feels pretty good. I'm going to add some of this in there. Kind of like glue. The breadcrumbs are glue. Perfect. Okay, let me wash my hands and get to those mushrooms. Oh, there you go. You see that? Now that's a nice caramelization on there. Ooh, doggies. Now that, you're going to get the most flavor out of the mushrooms like this. Believe me, if you want mushroom flavor, this is the only way to do it. If you don't do it this way, then you really didn't want mushroom flavor. Oh man, look at that. Beautiful. Nice golden. Ooh, doggies. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain the grease. And I'll put those in the pot over here. In the beef gravy. Alright. That's enough of that. Oh, by the way, did you see how hot that is? You see how hot the stove was? It was very hot. That's what you want. You know, it's okay to cook on high as long as you stand right here and you're paying attention to what you're doing. Okay. And hey, listen, if that person who commented on my messy kitchen, I hope that person isn't watching and looking at this knife. This is a high carbon knife. This is about 60 years old. Okay, back then all the knives were high carbon. They didn't have stainless steel. So anyway, high carbon, they look tarnished. But believe me, you can sharpen this as sharp as a razor. And I mean it. See, the metal is softer because there's a lot more carbon in the metal. So it's soft. So when you put it on the stone, man, you can get it razor sharp. They do get dull faster, but you know, we're not going to hold that against them. All right, here. I'm going to put these two in the oven. Let me see. Here we go. Like I said, this is poor man's stroganoff. And believe me, I'm poor, man. I'm getting poorer by the minute. Alright, there we go. We put our mushrooms in here. Oh man. Woo. Now if you want, you could add a little bit of burgundy to that. If you wanted to. Actually, if you were going to add the burgundy, you should have done it back when the mushrooms were almost finished. Add the burgundy to the mushrooms. Okay, hey, listen. I was going to, you know, speed up part of this video and then chop it up, you know, and take out some time, you know, but I decided, hey, I'm going to leave it the way it is. You know, there's a lot of times I turn on a video on YouTube and then I start washing the dishes or, you know, take out the garbage or something like that, you know. You know, in those fancy, food. Yeah, so I'm just going to let it go. Also, there's a couple stories in here that I want you to hear. There's a couple kitchen stories in there that you might laugh at. I know I did. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. And I will see you back on the video. The video. OBBO. You know, in those fancy food videos, you know, for like me, you know, when this foil gets bad enough, I change it, you know. I mean, it's getting bad now, but I'm not going to change it today. Anyway, those fancy guys, man, they go out and buy a whole new ring. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying that a lot of those guys are, I mean, it's not that they're bad cooks, it's just that it's all fake. You know, it's all staged. What I'm showing you here is, this is how, you know, this is how regular people cook. This is what their regular people's kitchen looks like. I don't have an agent. I don't have people coming by cleaning up. All I have is me. It's all I got. Man, where the heck is my Kool-Aid? Oh, there it is. I love Kool-Aid. All right. Where's the wick? I lost my wheat. I lost my wheat. Hey, let me tell you a quick story. When I was up in the hotel in Chicago, one of my best workers was this guy named Rogelio. He was a Mexican guy. I mean, this guy, I kid you not, I've never seen a guy work like him. This guy worked from 7 o'clock until 3 o'clock, solid work. However, after 3 o'clock, he was useless. But, you know, if I had to ask him to do overtime, I knew better. Okay, so anyway, we had a real problem in our hotel. You know, if you set your knife down and you go away for 10 minutes, you come back, your knife is gone. It's just like that. There was a real bad problem with thievery. You know, I mean, you were constantly losing everything. It was, like I said, let's say you've got a $100 knife, you set it down, and you go to the John or something, you come back, the knife is gone. No one knows what happened. It's just gone. All right. So, I mean, we were always losing our equipment. So one day, I lost my whip. One day. I don't know where it went. I didn't have it. So I asked Rogelio, "Hey, Rogelio, can I use your whip?" And he looked at me and he said, "I lost my whip." I lost my whip. Oh, man, I'm telling you, man. I laughed so hard. I had to buy him another whip. Oh, this guy was something else, man. Once he told me that he had quit smoking, and I said, "Oh, that's very good, man. Congratulations." And then about a week later, I saw him on the back dock smoking a cigarette. And I went out there and I said, "Hey, Rogelio, I thought you quit smoking." He said, "I never said completely." He never said completely. Oh, man. He didn't quit completely. Okay, anyway, back to the video. I lost my whip. Comes in really handy. All right, we're going to turn these over. Okay, now I'm going to turn it down and let them cook. Alright, let me get this. A little more roux. Oh! Okay, that's it. Whoops. Mojo, what do you want? That's all you get, buddy. I gave Mojo some ground beef and some regular wet food, and he's coming back for more ground beef. He's been hungry all day. He started looking at his food at about 11 this morning. Alright. That's it, boys and girls. See, these burgers are bound to crack a little bit. There's no egg. So I'm kind of expecting that to happen. Oh, this has got to be the best stuff ever. Let's add a little pepper over here. We don't need any salt because of the beef base. That stuff is salty. Every time I add pepper to something, it reminds me of this time I worked in this restaurant. And it was a five-star restaurant, you know, it was real nice. And they had, on the menu, there was steak au poivre. Now, steak au poivre is pepper steak. But it's not the kind of pepper steak that you do onions, peppers, you know, and red wine. What it is you take a New York steak and you actually, you smash the peppercorns. You don't grind them up too small. And you actually pound them into the New York steak. Alright, then you saute it in a pan, a real hot pan, and then you make a sauce out of heavy cream, and you could use more peppercorns. You could do like a green peppercorn in the sauce. Green peppercorns are soft. Well, anyway, I'm making this for this guy. I didn't know it was a guy. I mean, I'm just making this. And the sauce was in the back of the stove. You know, it was back here. And it was reducing. You know, the heavy cream reduces to make a real nice sauce. And I had it back here simmering, you know, and I grabbed a rag and I started to wipe off the tiles that were behind the stove. And I had a towel of hot soapy water. So anyway, here I am, I'm wiping it away, and then I look, and the towel is in the heavy cream being reduced. So the order was going out. I couldn't start making it over again, and I figured, hey, there's enough pepper in this sauce, still never know. So I served it, and I didn't say anything to anybody. But later on after dinner, the guy said, "Tell the chef that was excellent," and he gave me a tip. Oh man! I guess the sauce, I guess the hot soapy rag, I guess that helped. But anyway, that's the worst thing I've ever done. You know, as far as, you know, serving food. Man, they smell good. All right. One time in the hotel, we had a very large party. It was a couple thousand people. And they were in our hotel for like 2 days. So we gave them lunch and dinner. They had breakfast on their own somewhere else. So anyway, for lunch on the second day, they had chicken salad. Well, we used to buy our chicken already cooked and diced. You know, when you have a party for 2,000, that's how you do it. So I took the chicken out of the freezer. There was a whole bunch of boxes, you know, 2,000 people. And we had these big giant bowls on wheels. I mean, these things were big. They were like 200 pounds of stuff in this bowl. We put them in the steamer. We took the chicken out of the boxes and put them in the steam pans, and put them in the steamer for like only 2 minutes, and then we took them out, and then we put them in those bowls, and I put them in the refrigerator. Well, the next day I came in and I stuck my hand in the middle of the bowl, and the chicken was still warm. Oh God, that means it stayed in the refrigerator all night. And it never cooled off. Well, that's pretty dangerous. You know what I mean? It's chicken. You know, one of the items known for salmonella. So, there was no way we had this much more chicken in the house. I told everybody, all right, make the chicken salad out of this chicken. So they did. And they they dished it up, you know. I think it went in a half a tomato or something, I don't know. And they served it. And I went into the chef's office after they served it. And I sat down and I said, "Chef, this might be my last day." He said, "What's the matter?" I said, "I had just served this chicken that never actually cooled off from yesterday." He's like, "What?" And I told him what happened, and he told me, he said, "Listen, I don't know anything. Just pretend you never told me anything. Get out of here." But man, nothing happened. Whew. See, you know what it was? The company that makes this chicken, I mean, they really sterilize this stuff. You know what I mean? Everything about the factory is completely sanitary. You know, the machines that cut it up. I mean, you know, if there was any salmonella in it, they killed it. Put it that way. Yeah, I was extremely lucky on that day. Could you imagine 2,000 people getting salmonella from a hotel? Oh man, that hotel would have been... Well, you know what though, Hyatt was good at hiding things. I don't know if you guys remember when the walkway in that hotel in Kansas City fell. You know, the Hyatts are built as a big atrium on the inside, and the rooms are built into the walls, so the atrium is all open, and then they have the elevators in the middle on a big cement column, and then there's walkways that lead to the elevators from the different floors. Well, on New Year's Eve, one of those walkways collapsed and brought down all of the walkways fell, and a lot of people were killed, and the Hyatt managed to cut that, to cover it up. In fact, they did a thing about 3 years after it happened, and they asked people the name of the hotel where it happened at, and like 95% of the people said the Hilton, that it happened at the Hilton. That's how well the Hyatt covered it up. Is that, you know, people thought it was the Hilton, not the Hyatt. Okay, anyway, I forgot what we were talking about. Oh, the 2,000 people getting salmonella. Oh man, that would have been it. They would have killed me. That would have been the end. All right, anyway, back to the video. Okay, here we go. I think we're done. Sauce looks nice. Beef is cooked. I need some veggies. And yes, I use frozen vegetables. The problem is, if I used fresh vegetables, I never eat them. Like if I do a head of broccoli, I never eat the whole thing. I end up throwing it away. So, it's 86 that idea. Alright, here we go. Alright, we're going to do a piece of this bread. Oh man, look at that bread. Hey, if you want some good bread, go watch my bread video. However, in that video, I use water in that video. If you change it to evaporated milk, you're a lot better off. What was I going in here for? Okay. Yeah, change it to evaporated milk, but you have to scald the milk. You have to scald it and then let it cool off to about 100 degrees. Okay, see ya. Man, that bread is top of the line. Also use butter instead of oil. Use butter instead of oil. Oh man, look at this. A number 1. There you go. Oh man, look at this. Woo. Doesn't get any better than this right here. And I'm serious. Gotta make it stroganoff. Ooh, there we go. Top of the line. I didn't put these onions in the water. It helps. There you go. And this is how I lost 40 pounds in 2 months. Man, that's a lot of food. I probably won't eat all this. My stomach is shrunk. You know what's weird? I lost 40 pounds in 2 months and I ate whatever I wanted to. However, I only ate 1 time a day. There you go, folks. Now, hey, listen, I gotta tell you, you might be able to find this someplace else around town, but you ain't gonna find it any better than this right here. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta eat.